Hey guys, Blake Sylvester here, KastKing Pro staff member. I want to talk to you a little bit, tell you about myself, where I grew up, how I started fishing, how long I've been fishing. So, I grew up in a little town called Bassmaster, Louisiana. Lived like 2 minutes away from a boat landing, the Chaffalay Basin, Louisiana Delta. That's where I grew up fishing. Grew up fishing with my dad, bass fishing, and I got really fine to liking bass fishing. I convinced him to buy a bigger bass boat, and we started fishing club tournaments, and that led to, fishing team trails around home, and started getting pretty good at it, winning some of them. And I said, well, this is what I want to do for a living, so I've been at it ever since. All right, so as things progressed, fishing local tournaments back home, I started fishing, well, actually I fished the Bass Nation for 1 year and did pretty well in it. Finished second at Nationals, which qualified me for the Bassmaster Classic, and all entries paid for the Bassmaster Opens, which I just finished up fishing last year. The Bass Federation was pretty much, the ball that got me rolling to say, hey, I can compete against these people. Learned a lot this year, had some decent tournaments, had some bad breaks, but really excited for next year to fish the Opens. I'm fishing all 9 Opens again next year and try to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series. That's my ultimate goal. And if we luck up and win one and go back to the Classic, well, then that's just icing on the cake. So let me tell you a little bit about my first Bassmaster Classic. Went pre-practice. The tournament was supposed to be, it was going to be a pre-spawn deal. Went before it went off limits. Had an okay practice, caught some fish, and then it got moved with COVID to the summertime. Well, I thought, the way I fish, I thought that would have been better for me. The water was up in the summer, flipping bushes and whatnot. So we get there for practice, and I had a okay practice, caught a couple fish here and there, shook some fish off. Well, day one of the tournament was, I just got in a bad rotation. I'd fish a stretch of bank, and it was always like I was behind somebody. And day one, I zeroed. Worst day ever. Nobody wants to zero at the Bassmaster Classic. So, I went back to the room that night, and I just thought about it. And I said, you know what? I'm here. What's the worst we could do? Finish last. No big deal. Yeah, I wanted to win it. Well, after zero on day one, that's out of the window. So I said, you know what? It's a Bassmaster Classic. We'll go out tomorrow. We're going to have fun. If we catch them, we catch them. If we don't, we don't. Whatever, it is what it is. So we went out the second day and, got a few bites, caught a few fish, had fun, had a great time. And before I knew it, I was in a vehicle coming home. And I talked to a lot of people before I went, and they said, it's going to be the fastest week of your life. You show up, you practice, then next thing you know, you're on your way home. It's over with. Everything's done. And that's pretty much how it went. So one really good thing that happened, qualifying for the Bassmaster Classic, even though it wasn't the tournament that I was hoping for, is I got paired up with the guys at KastKing. And let me tell you, I fished with these reels from the first Open, all the way through the Classic and stuff. And I'm pretty rough on stuff. I'm not a big reel cleaning guy. I don't really clean my stuff. And, I flip a lot, frog a lot, throw heavy line, heavy weights, big rods. And these reels are just, I don't know, they're phenomenal. I mean, Bassinator Elite reels are, carbon fiber handle, cork grips. It's just, it fits me really well, and I've had no issues whatsoever out of any of them. They perform, at the top level. So after spending a year fishing with KastKing reels and, dealing with the company, I made a decision to switch to KastKing rods as well. I'll be throwing, KastKing reels, rods, and line. They have a huge selection of rods for a tournament guy like myself. They have Speed Demon rods, Spirale rods, just great quality rods that I think will ultimately, help me put fish in the boat. All right, let me tell you a little story about last year fishing the Northern Open smallmouth fishing using the KastKing Cast Pro 13X Finesse fishing line. I grew up in South Louisiana. We don't really throw spinning reels, spinning rods at all. Pretty much just flipping heavy cover. So I go up north, first time catching northern smallmouth, and I was throwing anywhere from 15 to 20 pound braid, to a 6-8 pound leader. And this stuff just made me feel really comfortable with a spinning reel in my hand. So this is what makes 13X Finesse Cast Pro braid so good. It's a 13 strand. You have one center strand wrapped with 12 strands of braid, which makes it really round, which a round braid allows you to cast, you know, a lot further. It's super smooth, but it still has abrasion resistance when you're dealing with, you know, northern smallmouth and rocks and, you know, zebra mussels. All right, guys, so with that being said, I got the best reels, best rods, best braid, from flipping braid, frogging braid, all the way down to this 13X Finesse Cast Pro braid from KastKing. I'm Blake Sylvester with KastKing. Be on the lookout for me this year. I think this is going to be a great year.